Welcome everyone, you're listening to Nephology, the podcast dedicated to crypto, accounting, business, finance and much, much more. I'm Joe David, the founder of Nephos Group and Miner. Please note that all conversations recorded are professional opinions, and if you'd like to know more or gain support, please reach out to the team directly. Now on to the next episode. Well, welcome everyone to the latest episode of the Nephology podcast. I'm delighted to welcome Pete. Pete, how are you?
I'm tired. It's been a very busy, I don't even know, 2, 3, 4 months now.
Tired and late, actually.
Tired and late, yeah. I mean, there's a lot going on in the ecosystem right now. Like I was on calls literally till, I think it was like 1:30 a.m. or something last night. Yeah, it's crazy.
You came in and said you've been some late nights, and I immediately assumed partying, but
no, we don't party.
It's not party.
People have this belief system that like founders and like CXOs in crypto are like just partying all the time. Yeah. We don't have time to party. Bull markets go in these cycles, right? And if you're not all in for these cycles, you're gonna fail, right?
Yeah.
So we do stay out late sometimes, but it's genuinely always about strategy and having meetings. And sometimes you've got to have meetings at like midnight because there's just no time, right? And don't forget that crypto is a worldwide ecosystem and people are in all different time zones.
24/7.
Yeah. So you got to have a 2 a.m. call, you have a 6 a.m. call. It's just how it works, right? So exhausted, honestly.
Yeah, but exhausted in a good way.
Yeah, man. It's honestly the most like all around incredible experience I've ever had in my life. For so many different reasons. There's the huge highs, huge lows. But, the reason I love what we do so much is because our team is just phenomenal. Like everyone is super cool. Yeah. Everyone's got the same belief system. We all have the same ideology and what we're trying to achieve. So like, who cares if you're working till 2 a.m. if you're doing it with great people?
Yeah, if you're loving it and the people you enjoy. Well, let's just start by like, who are you? What's Velar? We had Mittal on last year, who's the CEO.
Yeah.
But like, just talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I'll kind of give like everyone like an understanding of how I got here, I suppose. So I started my first business when I was 16. It was a YouTube channel that was the biggest YouTube channel for like how to do car audio repairs. We got around 20,000 views every single day. I then built a shop. I then went to university, studied marketing and launched an advertising agency. I grew that agency from nothing to around 35 people. And then at the height, I was basically taking money out of the advertising agency and then deploying it into other businesses. So we, at peak, probably had like 7 or 8 companies in the UK, doing everything from law, property stuff, mortgages. We had a hair loss drug. We had like a whole circulation of different businesses. In the UK, they increased corporation tax from 19% to 25%. So I left the UK, came to Dubai, and then I met Mittal. And Mittal is the CEO of Velar. I think I was the 2nd or 3rd check in Velar. I just met him the first day I was in Dubai, knew this guy, knew what he was talking about, loved the concept, loved the idea. I've been in crypto since 2017 anyway, so I'd already was kind of familiar with the ecosystem. And I just said to him, look, I'm in regardless. My business partner went in, a few other people went in, you got in, we all got in, and we were super early. And I just said to Mittal, if you ever need any marketing support, let me know. I had this advertising agency that I've been running for a long time. I knew the game. My advertising agency at this point was like 10 years. I've been in it for 10 years. And then one day he like called me up and said, Pete, I need a CMO. And we were working on lots of new projects. And I had this conversation with my business partner. And I said, look, this opportunity don't come around where you truly believe in the project. You truly believe in the founder. You truly believe in the ecosystem. I think that I should go all in on this and we should do some restructuring. So we sold our hair loss company, we sold our advertising agency, we sold our mortgage company, we restructured our group in the UK, and I went all in on Velar as CMO.
Yeah, so I kind of talked about it before you came out of retirement, as it were.
Yeah.
You were kind of, how do I put it politely? Like you were doing bits and pieces, but you weren't like all in on anything.
No, I mean,
right?
I moved to Dubai and for 6 months I was on a beach, basically.
Yeah.
And I remember Mittal when I first met him, because, for me meeting Mittal to me being CMO was like 11 months.
Yeah.
So I know him really well at this point.
Yeah.
And he said, bro, you can't be in a bull market and do nothing. It's a direct quote, a direct quote.
Yeah.
So I was more relaxed because, when you save 25% on tax and then you're saving whatever it is on income tax, like you can just chill. That's the reality of it.
Yeah.
But chilling on a beach all the time is kind of boring. So we were doing little bits and bobs on the side, and now we've completely restructured. The group that I'm like CEO of, I guess, is running completely independently from me, and we're investing in different ecosystems and places. Just that happens that my full-time 24/7 thing right now is CMO of Velar.
Yeah. And that is that a personal thing, or is that you and Brad?
What do you mean?
Like in terms of your engagement with Velar, are you doing that like on
So
your own?
I'm doing it fully, but I still support the group. So
Yeah,
I
okay.
still like make sure that the group's looked after because it's still taking my time, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm the way I roll has always been loyalty, right? So and anyone who knows me well enough will know this. Like, me and Brad, my business partner in Featured, we've been business partners for 10, 11, 12 years.
Yeah.
We've done everything together. We only do things together.
Yeah.
It's like almost like a distinct. If I invest, he invests. Like,
Yeah.
it's just done.
Yeah.
So anything that we make from Velar, yeah, of course, Brad will be looked after. That's how I roll. I would never
Yeah.
leave anyone alone. And it's the same with the boys in Velar. If I ever do anything in crypto, I'm going to bring them along too, because the world is such a challenging place, right? And trust is the only commodity. It's the only
100%.
currency. So if you can't trust the people you're working with, it's pretty much game over. So, you know, if we get offered anything at Velar, I instantly offer it to all the boys in the team. Like, if I get anything offered in the normal business world, I offer it to Brad by default. And same with you. I mean,
I was going to say that. Yeah,
I do with you as well. Like, this is how I roll, because you need to, when shit hits the fan and it gets tough, you need to have your circle that you can call on, and you need to know that, look, he's not going to screw me over because he's done all this for me. That's just how I roll.
And that is one of the key topics I wanted to talk about, and the title of this is going to be about building trust, right? And especially in a decentralized world, or a crypto world where trust is like, it's a commodity that people don't seem to have. Like, we talked before we came on air, we talked about a hack. It's we're constantly talking about those things. SBS was for jail for 20 odd years for defrauding. So trust is such a big thing. And like you say, like for me, what I'm about is relationships. And I feel like someone like you as well. I could pick up the phone to you in 6 months' time. We haven't spoken in 6 months and say I need this, and you'd be like, I'm there.
Of course,
Like that's the. Do you know what I mean? And that you just don't get that in this world. So so tell us like a little bit then what Velar is and what you're trying to do.
Yeah, so Velar's a DeFi protocol based on Bitcoin, right? So the easiest way to describe it is we're building the user interface layer of Bitcoin. So anything that's ever been built on Ethereum, we are building on Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So we are what we call modern maxis. So a maxi is someone that believes that Bitcoin is the only important thing. It has to be used for money. Everything else is a waste. I've kind of coined this phrase, the modern maxi. And the modern maxi is somebody that believes Bitcoin is the most important thing, but all we really want is Bitcoin finality.
Okay.
So we don't care where we're doing it as long as it ends up on Bitcoin.
Okay.
So I call this the modern maxi. So, there's been thesis around people building Solana as a Bitcoin layer 2, which is an interesting thesis. Obviously, there's 100 Bitcoin L2s come to market. There's some side chains kind of being used as well. There's some L1s, some smart contracts on Bitcoin L1 being built. Some really interesting stuff. I don't care as a modern maxi as long as it always finalizes on Bitcoin.
Yeah. So Bitcoin is, for you, Bitcoin, I mean, you brought me this hat.
Yeah.
That, ETH was the test net, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like Bitcoin for you is crypto is Bitcoin and Bitcoin is crypto.
Yeah, like I've been in since 2017-ish, and if you look through each cycle, each one's had its own like fad, whatever that was. In the end, Bitcoin is the only thing that wins.
Yeah.
And I say this all the time, it's like, we already know how this plays out. In 20 years, we know how this plays out. Bitcoin wins.
Yeah.
So anything in between Bitcoin winning and now is just a joke to me. And the things I've been seeing getting built on Bitcoin right now, I've looked at them all, and if the things that are being built right now end up actually working as planned, you should never use another chain again in your whole entire life.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Like, done, finished. Ethereum, what's the point? Solana, no point. The only reason Solana could have any value, in my opinion, is if it's a layer 2 to Bitcoin, right? So if all this stuff actually plays out, all that matters is Bitcoin.
Yeah, no, that's super interesting. And I remember when we first met, you'd only only just moved here, like maybe a few months or whatever. I was still in the process of moving here. I was here kind of doing visas and all that before I moved. And you told me about Stacks. Like that was the first thing you spoke about to me, and Stacks being an L2 on Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah. So
and what was that, like 50 cents?
Oh yeah, probably slightly lower than that. 35, 40 maybe.
Yeah.
And look where we are now, $3-4.
Well, it was what, 380 before the hack. Yeah.
Yeah. So but my point is, you were talking about that when nobody was talking about that. You were talking about that a long time ago. And I also said last year to a lot of people that Bitcoin was the thing. Then all these fads, if you want to call them that, came in, but everyone came back to Bitcoin.
Yeah, and
ultimately,
like if you ask anybody who truly believes in crypto, like these random projects you've never heard of that aren't proper projects, in the end they just want your Bitcoin.
Yeah.
That's all they want.
And treasury wise as well. You know, a lot of these projects I talk to, yeah, they do hold a bit of ETH or they do hold a bit of that, but ultimately, if they want something secure from their perspective, they're holding Bitcoin.
Yeah, and like I don't know. That's my thesis. I believe in Bitcoin. I believe if you just buy the thing and hold it, you'll win. And then now we're at the point of going, cool, you've got this Bitcoin. What do you want to do with it?
Yeah. Yeah,
and that's the exciting part.
And I think that's always been the problem, right? People are going, look, great, Bitcoin, love Bitcoin, fantastic, love holding it, but I can't do anything with it. It's just sat there doing nothing. So that's where you guys now come in, right? So would you say that you guys have opened the door to Bitcoin's possibilities?
Look, I think when I first spoke to Mythal about the idea of Velar in March-ish last year, Bitcoin DeFi was barely even spoken about. Like no one even spoke about it. I was within the Stacks ecosystem. Like I was one of the community members really in Stacks. So I knew this was a thing and it was bubbling. That's how me and Mythal met within the Stacks ecosystem. But it was really underplayed. Like, I mean, it was like $700 million market cap. No one was talking about it. So like as soon as he spoke about it, it made sense to me. And I would honestly say that Mythal, I like to call Mythal a visionary, right? So Mythal is amazing at looking into the future and seeing what the world needs. And he has people around him to do today.
Yeah.
Right. And that's how I see him. He's the visionary, right? So he was looking 4 years in the future, being like, everything that was built on Ethereum will be built on Bitcoin. And I'm going to build that. I was like, okay, I'm in. So, you know, like when you think of it that way, now everyone's just caught up. Like people are having the conversation. I was in Bitcoin Asia in Hong Kong, and like people are now, oh, everything you built on Bitcoin. I'm like, Mythal said this literally over a year ago.
Yeah.
Like no one was saying it then.
No one, no.
So people have been saying to me, like, what do I believe the big movement's going to be this cycle? It's going to be Bitcoin DeFi.
Yeah.
And it's going to be Bitcoin DeFi for a few reasons. One, because it's what's truly needed in the space. But two, I've never seen so much VC money enter one specific niche in crypto in my whole entire life. So there's roughly speaking 100 Bitcoin L2s, of which probably 60 will be pure trash. 40 will be trying to do things properly. 10 will actually win. But I worked out that something along the lines of $400 to $500 million has been invested in L2s.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you look at that as a base level, let's say $500 million has been invested in Bitcoin L2s, then you start going, what's the narrative going to be? And a narrative in any ecosystem is played by the investment put there. If enough money goes to one place, it becomes a narrative because you've got so many spin-off events. You've got investors investing into teams, which then invest in marketing. You've got then KOLs and influencers then investing in projects. So what they're going to talk about, they're going to talk about those projects. Velar is so early. Like so early, we've got like a year head start on building. We've got like a year head start on all the KOLs and influencers. We've got like a year head start on marketing and ecosystem and testnet. We had 160,000 testnet users.
Yeah, I remember you talking to me about that.
Yeah,
during the testnet period.
Bro, we had the most successful Bybit launch they've ever done on Launchpad. Ever.
That is insane.
Bybit, second biggest perpetual exchange ever. We had the most successful launch ever. This is a random Bitcoin DeFi project that most people have never heard of, right? So we are so early, right? That it means we're ticking off all these boxes that people would dream about. And I truly believe there's going to be so many people now trying to build Bitcoin DeFi because it's cool.
Yeah.
They won't be able to get the things we've got because we've already done it. Like, do you think Bybit's going to list 100 Bitcoin L2s?
Yeah,
it's not going to happen.
No.
Like, they're not going to do it.
I didn't even know there was 100.
Yeah, it's crazy.
For example, right?
It's crazy.
I could probably name on my hand the ones that I know of.
And do you know what all these L2s need? They need dApps to build on them.
Yeah.
So our thesis is pretty simple. Is if you're competing in the Bitcoin L2 space, you're essentially competing for users. And how do you get users? By having good dApps.
Yeah. Right?
If you have terrible dApps on your L2, you have no users.
Yeah.
So the most like thing you need as a layer 2 is good dApps.
Yeah.
So what are we doing? We're building the dApps.
Yeah.
Like everyone's building the L2s right now. No one's building the dApps.
Yeah, fair. Yeah. And L2s are great, but like you say, if you can't use them, then they're pointless.
So we have the world's first perp DEX on Bitcoin launching really soon. Like I imagine when this comes out, it's already out. I put this out.
Okay.
We've got the launch pad, we've got the DEX. We're going to be building everything that's ever built on Ethereum. And
so Velar, you know, when we first spoke about it, was initially, the perp DEX thing was a thing, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was a dream, or not even a dream. That's unfair, but like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it was like we weren't ready for that, but it was a DEX, right? But DEXs are great, but limited.
Yeah, fine. Yeah.
So where do you see like the growth of Velar? You know, the DEX is simple. Launchpad great. You know, is the perp DEX the thing, or where do you see the growth of Velar?
So the great thing about Velar, right, is we don't talk in like cycles. We talk on like 10, 20-year horizons. Like I've said to Mythal, like, I'm in this for the long haul. Like, I have no interest in leaving because no one in the team needs money today.
Yeah, okay.
Do you understand? This is not a play for money.
Yeah,
like, I don't need money.
Yeah.
Mythal doesn't need money.
Yeah.
We don't need money. So there's no like, we need to make this money this cycle. You know, so find me a project that is looking on a 10-year time horizon. Now, we have this thesis, and it's a thesis I think that comes from maybe like Hindi culture, I don't know. But it's this thesis on last man standing, right? So over the next 2-3 years, projects will be created, they'll run out of money, or they'll party too much. Whatever happens, they'll burn out. So you have this massive spike of projects being built, a massive spike of projects failing. And in the end, there'll be some last standing, right? We don't need to hit 5 billion market cap today. We don't have to hit 10 billion market cap today. We just have to build the best products securely in the best way and survive. And when we get this suite of products out, there'll be no other alternative than to use Velar. Right. So we are not looking at short-term time horizons. We are not looking at 2 years. Most of crypto look at 2 years. They're like, oh, it's bull market now. We know the end will be around August. Let's sell in August. It does not how it works. So because of that, we think super differently to everybody else.
And have you not got pressure from external investors?
Every investor made their money.
Yeah, okay.
If you wanted to sell, you know. We went from 30 million market cap to 690 million market cap. You could have, if you wanted to, and we had.
If you wanted to exit, you could have exited.
You could have exited. So our belief system, and we because of the way we structured our raise and our launch, we could have done another raise at 200 million. We had people wanting to invest at 200 million market cap before we launched. We said no. We'll launch at 30 million so the community can get in. We launched at 30 million. It ran up, obviously, as it did. It's now trickled down, but it ran up as it did. Every investor could have cleared their initial money out straight away.
Yeah.
It was 8% unlock on TGE. They could have got their money out. If they didn't want to, that's fine by me. But if they want to get the money out, now they're whole. And from a building perspective, we now have no pressure from investors.
Because if they wanted to be out, they could be out.
They could have been out.
Didn't, they want to be in it anyway.
Correct. So this is one of the things that's so great about us. We have no external investor pressure.
Which is
it's unique.
I was going to say unique. Maybe it isn't unique, but it is very, very rare. Like, not many projects have that. Have that opportunity, and not many projects give you the opportunity to get out on day one at 5, 8, 10%, whatever drawdown was. And I actually picked up some more, because like the price has trickled down, and therefore
it's the most, like, not financial advice, the most obvious buy of my life. I'm still buying. I'm buying, and I've got a lot of tokens. Because I mean, a lot of mine are locked, right? But it's kind of obvious to me at this point where this world goes. It's just obvious. I've been in this game now since 2017. Like, we know where it goes.
I mean, I was going to ask you what drew you out of retirement, but I think we've already.
It's like,
I think we've already covered that.
So I said this to my dad, because my dad was like really like questioning it all. Like, I was like, there's so many things in this life where there's just like, it's the moment. And you feel right about the people, you feel right about the project, you feel right about the era, the time, whatever. Very rarely do you get tick, 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 tick. Like, sometimes you're like, I like the people, but the idea is crap. Or I hate the people, but the idea is good. It's very rare you get all of them at the same time. So for me, it's like, why wouldn't I do this? Like, life is about experiences and living, and I've kind of got, like I said, I was at, I did a talk in Bitcoin Asia, and someone sent me a screenshot of me doing a talk in 2015-ish, maybe a bit earlier, like in Lincoln. Like skinny little young kid, didn't know what I was doing or whatever, and they're like, what a change. I feel like everything that I've ever done in my whole entire life has led me to this point. Whether you're learning about crypto in 2017, doing public speaking, for my advertising agency, owning an ad agency for 10 years, owning multiple different companies and understanding like how to spread time. Because crypto is not one company. There's like 10 within it, So I feel like everything I've ever done my whole entire life has come to this specific moment. So if I said no, I would rather lie on a beach. That's just moronic,
Well, what's the point of everything you've done up until this point? No, I agree. I guess I'm touching on like actually I want to touch on your Twitter. I mentioned it just before we came on. When I first met you, you had this like anonymous Twitter, if you like. There was a few people that knew who you were and whatnot, but in the main, nobody knew who you were. You said what you felt, and you didn't care. You've opened that up now. I went on an AMA with Velar the other day, and it was clear that you are this. Like, what made you decide to do that? Because you were quite clear why you wanted this anonymous Twitter, and you wanted to be your authentic self and whatnot. But like, now you've brought that out into
So 2 reasons. So I obviously own multiple companies in the UK,
Yeah.
and some of them of which I was very much a part of. So the advertising agency, we would be working with business owners or even organizations that were on polar ends of the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
So we would work with one company that would be very, very left wing and one company that would be very right, not very right wing, but right wing.
Yeah.
So like if I would have to have a strong opinion publicly about either things, I know I'm going to piss someone off. So like I was if I have an opinion and I can't just tweet this out, and it was almost like, but I want to say stuff.
You want to get your opinion out there.
So I had a anonymous account, and that just kind of naturally fell into my Bitcoin account, right? Just from obviously the things I'm commenting on, liking my actual belief system. So I kind of fell within the Stacks ecosystem, made loads of friends in the Stacks ecosystem, obviously met Mythal. Anonymously, yeah. And then obviously I docked myself to some people and get to meet them properly, whatever. And then when it came to being offered CMO, I had 500, 700 people following me that were from the Stacks ecosystem. It would be stupid to go from zero again.
Okay.
So I just deleted all my tweets, removed all my likes.
Did you?
Yeah, I just did a full wipe. And then I doxed myself because if you truly believe you're building a great project and you are not a scammer, you should be doxed.
I agree, yeah.
Like, you can't be anonymous. Like, there's no way that this works because, like, someone said to me the other day, like, oh, is Velar a scam? I said, go on my LinkedIn, look at my 12 years in business and tell me that I'm now going to throw it all away
for a scam.
Like, tell me why I would do that. Why would I do that? I've worked my whole entire life. I've written a best-selling book. I've got 200 podcast episodes. Why would I go, oh, do you know what? I'm going to make quick money. Which, let's be real, I don't need. I can chill.
Need the money. Yeah.
So it's like, why would I do this? Why would I ruin my whole reputation? So, and then they can't respond to that. So that's why I did it. And it was crucial that everybody within the team, that at a CXO level specifically, has to be doxed. Yeah. Obviously, there's security risk from other people, but like CXO level, have to be doxed.
Yeah, and I think that's 2, 3, 4 years, or 3 years ago, maybe, let's say, maybe 4 years ago, being undoxed. Being undoxed was the thing. Like, everyone was like, I don't want to tell people who I am. I want this whole big secretive life.
Yeah, but that was the ICO boom where everyone got rugged.
Yeah, where everyone. But that's my point. Like, everyone thought and then when people started doxing, people were like, oh, it's this amazing thing that someone's doxing. They must be legit because they're doxing. And then all of a sudden, doxing became the way to rug people because people trusted you because you doxed. And but I just found it super interesting with you because you were so like, this is my freedom,
safe space.
I can say what I want and I don't need to worry about it. And then you went, actually, I'm going to change that. And but you're right, you've done it because you want to build trust, and that's what I'm trying to talk about here as well. Is like, how do you build trust in this bit? We talked about a hack before we came on. Like, how on earth do you build a marketing strategy around trust and security and all those things when you're in a world of it's like being on it's like being in a war zone and saying, don't worry, you won't get shot.
Yeah, so there's been a hack in the Stacks ecosystem. So we're obviously we're a DEX, perp DEX, whatever. We're building everything on the ecosystem, but predominantly right now we're built on Stacks. Yeah. And there's another project called Alex Labs, which is also built on Stacks. They've just been hacked for, I think, 13 million Stacks, which is, at peak price $3.80, at current price $2.10, and it crashed because of the hack. Let's make it clear. So, I don't know how they're hacked. I honestly don't really care how they're hacked. Like, it is what it is, right? Now, they're from the banking sector, whatever. We're from the community. So this is the thing I love about Velar is every single person in the CXO team and most people within the actual team are from the community. We haven't come from some corporate life. We haven't come from some big law firm or whatever. Like, everyone in our team, especially CXOs, have been in the trenches since minimum 2017. Minimum 2017. So we understand the game. We understand what the community want. We understand how to build security. Mythal, his previous company, was a crypto security auditing firm. Yeah, like, he literally used to audit smart contracts. That was his actual job. Yeah. So when it comes to like building trust, it's like, we're from the community. Like, so when this hack happened, I did a tweet and I was like, Velar is here for the whole community. Anything you need, you DM me. Now, my DMs were then flooded. My Telegram flooded. I had to move resource in the marketing team just to support the ecosystem. So we're currently building the world's first purchase in Bitcoin, right? Which is a big task. And I've had to move allocation resources to support the whole ecosystem. Because when Alex went down, obviously, first and foremost, around $30 million was stolen. So community's scared. Yeah. Community now can't trade because there was a lot of liquidity built on Alex. So now I'm like, well, I need to do something for the community. So we open up all the projects to move across. I've got boys speaking to projects, like at least 5 projects a day.
Giving them opportunity to
get on. people are now tweeting me saying, I thought Velar's "We're here for the community" was a marketing line. I'm now realizing it wasn't, and it wasn't because, I did a tweet the other day. Someone was like, "I'm sorry for bothering you," and I said, 12 months ago, I was on your side of the table.
Yeah.
Like I was literally the guy that was tweeting the project.
Yeah.
So like, don't ever think for a second that I'm just doing this I'm doing this because I was you.
Do you know what though? I think, and this is a compliment, but I think you're the least marketing person I know.
Bro, yeah.
Like you like the authenticity of what you deliver is what I think is needed in this world, right? But like you said, people will always say, yeah, but you're now leveraging that opportunity. That project goes down, you're now leveraging that opportunity to get.
So understand this. I have a lot of stacks, right? So like, of course, I'm gonna be incentivized for Velar to do well, but I'm from the community. If stacks goes to 0, I lose a lot of money.
You lose, yeah.
Do you understand? Like I was buying stacks at 35 cents.
Yeah.
So, and it was 380. So I'm also doing it for the community because I am the community.
Yeah.
If stacks fails because of this hack, I lose a lot.
Yeah.
Velar loses a lot.
Yeah.
And all my friends in the community lose a lot. So why I'm up till 2 a.m. doing all this stuff is because I know the pain of which the community will go through when this goes down. We have to save it.
Yeah.
I said to the team, and this is probably not something I should say publicly, but I'll say it. It's like, we are the lifeboat. Like, we're the lifeboat for the whole stacks ecosystem right now.
Do you see it as a risk? Like, what's happened? Do you see it as a risk to the ecosystem?
Bro, like, people put their life savings into a protocol that has lost customer funds. Like, look, I understand the risks of crypto, and I understand that this can happen to anybody, right? And who knows what can happen in the future. So I'm never going to criticize projects for getting hacked because it can happen.
Yeah.
But of course, like Alex was the original DEX on stacks. So by default, it was the main DEX on stacks. So when the main version goes down, it's a real problem for the community. So,
but the flip side to that is, as a corporate business owner, the corporate business owner would say it's an opportunity for us.
Well, I mean, look, we genuinely haven't sat here and gone, let's be sharks and let's attack.
About this.
Yeah, because it's our boys.
Yeah.
Like, do you understand? Like, I've been in the stacks ecosystem for maybe 3 or 4 years now. Like, these are my guys going down. There's like these people that are like messaging me, being like, I had 500,000 locked in. Like, so it's like, I honestly haven't even gone, we can get users here. I'm just going, how the hell can we save everyone?
Yeah.
And at the same time as this, I kind of feel bad about it because we just announced BitLayer, and we just announced Bob as our partners, which are 2 of their L2s. So we've already gone, cool, we're expanding. But I'm always like, well, we need to grab the boys too, because we can't leave them.
Yeah.
So it's like multiple things happening, but as I said to, Resh and Razel, who are like the boys helping me on this part of the project, is like, we have to save everyone.
No man is left behind.
And this is like, people may think this is a marketing thing. I can show you Telegram messages.
This
is actually the conversation going on. It's like, Razel, get every single project that wants to come across on our project. No fees, no commitments, nothing. Get them on.
Insane.
Like, get them on.
That is insane. And this is, like, I speak to a lot of crypto projects. I don't always speak to the CMOs, obviously, but I speak to a lot of crypto projects. And look, for clarity, I'm invested in this business, but like, I have never seen a business operate in this way. And you must have in the non-crypto world. Take the crypto out of it for a minute. Can you imagine many other businesses doing this, what you're doing right now?
Yeah, it's true. I don't know, man. Like, I've always done things in a unique way. Yeah. Always, my whole life. This comes back to loyalty, I guess. I just spoke about at the start, about how everything I do, I'll get to Brad. If I can get you in, I'll get you in. I can get the boys in. I always try, and this is loyalty. So this is probably just another angle of me being like, these are all my boys. These are my community. This is like, forget Velar, Alex, Stack for a second. These are my friends. These are my friends. Like, like, I just need to help everyone. So, hopefully, I did a tweet and said, all I care about is the community being made whole again. I don't care if Alex comes back and gets all its LP back and whatever. Yeah. Honestly,
you're not going to say don't trust them.
I don't care. I've never said anything negative about them in my whole entire life, because in a decentralized world, you need options. And someone said to me, "Oh, Velar should get more liquidity now," and I said, liquidity should be spread out. This is what decentralized is all about. I believe in free market capitalism, which is, if you want to come and use Velar, use Velar. If you want to use Alex, use Alex. Like, do whatever you want. Because I'm not here to tell you what to do. Our job at Velar is to build a secure protocol that is trusted by the community, that believes that we have the right message at heart, and to drive the ecosystem further forward. I'm loyal to Bitcoin. You know what I mean? Like, that's it.
100%.
Yeah.
And I totally agree with you. And that is the biggest problem though in this space is not everyone, that's unfair. So many people want to build their product to be the best, and they don't care about anyone else. They don't care about the other projects that are building. They talk down on other projects when actually, like you said, if we all work together, everybody wins.
People forget who we're really against.
Yeah.
We're not against
Each
other
other.
crypto projects, right? We're against the fucking system.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know, I hired someone the other day from Malaysia, amazing graphic design. We had 2,300 applications for our graphic design role. Yeah, and I hired a girl from Malaysia. We offered her a salary, which, you know, in Malaysia is ridiculous. Yeah. You know, of course, but I believe that it doesn't matter where in the world you work.
We actually had that conversation on that topic. We actually had that conversation the other day. We were looking at hiring someone in South Africa, and the conversation was, "Oh, you can pay less in South Africa." And we were like, "No, our banding for that role is this.
Correct.
Therefore, we're paying that."
And that's how it's done. And we said, "How do you want paying?" She said, "USDT." So my point is that we're living in an ecosystem right now where people in the West don't really realize this. I don't think. USDT, USDC, whatever you want to call it, this whole crypto world is a complete economy in itself.
Yeah.
And people don't realize the level at which it's the economy itself.
Yeah.
And people in the West don't really understand why it's an ecosystem in itself, because the West hasn't really seen the pain of which other parts of the world have seen.
Exactly. They don't need to know about it because they don't have to see it.
Yeah.
We can move money around the world, and actually it's not that expensive.
Yeah,
if you're a UK individual with a UK bank account, it's not that bad.
Yeah, it's not a problem. And this is the point, we're not against each other here.
Yeah.
We're against the system.
Yeah.
So we're just building out projects and things within the ecosystem that is going to support the community in a bigger way.
Yeah.
Whether you want to leverage loans, or whether you want to get lending, or whether you want to trade on a decentralized perp deck, or whether you want to do swaps, or whether you want to do bridging, whatever you want to do, we want to facilitate that process on Bitcoin.
Yeah.
The most trusted blockchain ecosystem in the entire world ever created, ever will be.
Yeah. The OG. We talked earlier about meme coins.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell the story about your brother?
Yeah, I mean, like, crazy. So my brother's like a bit of a normie. Like, he got a normal job in the UK, and he found some projects. He bought 10% of the supply, and hired some freelancers, whatever, and it pumped super hard. Like, I think it went to 8 million. He took off some money off the table. And then it pumped all the way up to 52 million, and he didn't sell.
Insane.
He had $3 million in this shitcoin.
Why didn't he sell?
So my thesis on this, my understanding on this stuff is, if you're crazy enough to see the numbers on the screen, you're crazy enough not to sell to get there.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, you would have sold a 500,000.
Yeah.
Or 100K.
Yeah.
Or 250K.
Yeah.
So to see 3 million on your screen and not sell, you've had to be crazy enough to not sell at 2 million, 1 million, 1.5 million.
Yeah.
I was super frustrated at first, because like, this is going to change your life. You'll be, you know, released from the normie world. And then I realized, to be crazy enough to have 2.7 million or 3 million or whatever it is in the coin, you have to have not sold at 2 million, 1 million, 500,000, 100K.
Yeah. And but it's also the same with Bitcoin. You know, people, you know, yesterday, or whenever this goes out, but yesterday in the world that we are recording, it was Bitcoin Pizza Day.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And people talk about, well, those pizzas would be worth 700 million now.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't, because nobody would have waited from that day to this. Oh, I say nobody.
So my thesis on this is, if it's a meme coin, it's a meme coin.
Yeah.
Right. And unless the meme coin is going to start rolling out actual projects people can use,
which they're never going to do.
I mean, some are, but as a whole, they're not going to. Then it's a meme coin. Understand what you have.
Yeah.
It's a meme coin.
It's a gamble.
It's a gamble. It's a lottery ticket.
Yeah.
If your product is building out real things, or is Bitcoin, then you understand that it's something of value. Therefore, I'm happy to hold it.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, I've never sold one sat ever in my whole entire life, ever. Bitcoins in 2017, never sold anything, because I know what this is going. This isn't, it's now 70K, I should sell some.
But what's the point in holding it if you're not going to sell it?
Okay, so maybe we're in Bitcoin for two different reasons. The reason I'm in Bitcoin is to have an asset that can maybe one day bail me out when I really need it to. It's my insurance policy from the whole world.
Your hedge.
It's my hedge against everything. It's my grandkids may one day need something, and there's Bitcoin. Thank God Pete had some Bitcoin. I have no intention ever in my whole entire life of ever selling my Bitcoin.
Do you think that's because, and I agree with you, by the way, I know you say we're in it for different reasons. I'm just playing this game of devil's advocate here, but you're in a position where you don't need to sell.
Correct.
A lot of people aren't in that position. So is that a different thing for you in that you aren't in this for a quick win because you don't need to be?
So I think people need to understand why they're in crypto.
Yeah.
So, okay, are you in crypto to make your life better today? Or are you in crypto to make your life better long-term, generation better? And every pound I've ever invested in Bitcoin, I have written off.
Yeah.
I've just gone.
Yeah.
So for me, it's not like, oh, I've got so many parts here. It's that I don't even see it. Like that's just there. So it's not. So I've invested in such a long-term time frame that I write the money off I've invested. Now, if you're so over allocated in Bitcoin that you're like, oh, I hope I can get that back in a year, then I don't think they're playing the game right.
Yeah.
So I like, because if Bitcoin is a long-term play, like minimum 4-year play, right? In my opinion. But if you want it right, it's a 20, 30, 40, 50-year play. So depending on the time frame you're investing is how you should allocate the resources towards it. I allocate enough that I don't have to worry about the money, and I forget it forever.
Yeah.
And now in the shorter term plays, of course, you can play that maybe like a stacks as a shorter term play or whatever. Like I'm never going to leave stacks for 25 years.
Yeah. No, and that is always a conversation when people say to me, "What should I do if I want to get into crypto? Where should I go?" Like it's Bitcoin. Like but you also have to know that if you're buying it today, don't come crying in 2 months' time if the price is less than what you purchased it for. We're at 70,000 or whatever today. Yeah, it could easily be at 60.
Yeah, I mean, someone told me I think it's into 35K. Like, no way. I sell everything. If it goes to 40K, I sell everything to buy Bitcoin. Everything. Like, it's just people like being bears,
Do you know what though, right? You say that and the sincerity in your voice is, I just know that's why I'm laughing, because I know that's true.
Well, yeah, it is. Bro, I remember there was a time when I had my FD like on ad agency, like maybe 2020, 2021, something like that. And my finance director came into the room and Bitcoin price dropped, or something that means like 18K. I can't remember the exacts wherever we were in the cycle, but it was like 16K. And I was just like, 1 second. And I was just buying Bitcoin, like sat in this FD meeting, like just buying Bitcoin. Because like when it hit a certain point, and I bought what I wanted to buy.
That he's an FD.
Yeah.
Being an accountant myself, we're probably looking at that game.
Yeah. And then I was like, so let's talk about corporate reserves.
Yeah. We haven't got enough corporate reserves. And you'll sell them by Bitcoin.
Yeah.
But it's the same with Michael Saylor, different level, no offense. But like, if Bitcoin drops, he buys. He doesn't sit there and go, oh shit, I'm in trouble now.
It's you need to understand where you are. Like you need to decide from your frame of reference what you're doing it for and why. Like everybody who knows me knows that all of my parked cash is Bitcoin. Like if you open my bank account right now, like it's enough to live.
Yeah.
It's not enough to splurge, do this, do that. It's enough to live. I live a nice life, don't get me wrong, but it's not like if I saw my Bitcoin, I'd do really well,
Yeah.
So everyone just knows that like that's what people parks his cash. So people banter me for it when it's down, and they mess you when it's up. It's just like a known thing.
Yeah. Do you believe in other crypto ecosystems? And
all I own is Bitcoin, stacks, Velar. That's it. Nothing else.
So that in itself says where you believe
it's Bitcoin.
It's
big. Well, and I would tell you categorically, Bitcoin DeFi is the cycle play. I can tell you this. I was in Hong Kong. I was offered maybe 12 advisory roles. Said no to all of them. All Bitcoin.
What sort of roles? Like just as an example.
Well, it's like people offer you advisory tokens to then give them advice on marketing, go-to-market strategy, basically. And I said,
but what sort of projects? Sorry,
bro. There's Bitcoin L2s, so loads of Bitcoin L2s. There's new wallets going to market. There's projects that are like trying to fix like so there's gonna be an issue. There's going to be an issue in the future where there's lots of different L2s and people will have liquidity on different L2s. There's projects now that are going to pull the liquidity together and allow you to operate on every single one from one point. So there's some real world asset stuff going on now where people are going to try and tokenize like businesses into the real world, which is actually happening from like a legal framework like Singapore area. Yeah. So yeah.
Why no?
Because Velar is the most important thing. Like if we get one shot, right? We get one shot in crypto. And if you mess it up, you can never do it again. Right. So I'm not in
about the trust as well.
Yeah, I'm not in this to be like, oh, I'm going to sprinkle some time over here and sprinkle some time here. Like people, I was up till 2 a.m. yesterday, 2 a.m. the day before, like trying to save the ecosystem or whatever. Like, I don't have time to think about how your wallet can be utilized to do something. Like it doesn't bother me. Like, well, you're going to give me like 20K allocation. I don't care.
Yeah,
I'm not
it doesn't
bother me.
Yeah.
But it also sends a really good message. And I tell the team this is that people externally believe what we're doing is the right thing. So
Yeah.
like when you get 10 projects or whatever come to you and say, can you have advisory? And I say no. I don't see it. I see it as like, thank you for the offer, but no. But what I actually see it as is the external Bitcoin community going, those Velar guys,
doing it right.
they're doing it right.
How do you know, this is a challenging world, right? In terms of crypto and regulatory hurdles, and you know, even the UAE, people mistakenly think the UAE you can do anything, which you can't. Like there are certain things you can and can't do. And how do you navigate that from a marketing perspective? You know, the UK, for example, last year came out with these rules of, you know, where you've got to market things in a certain way and you've got to get FCA sign off. And like, how do you navigate that? Because you're trying to educate the world to not have to deal with these bureaucratic bullshit, right? But so, you've also got to play the game, because otherwise you get locked out. How do you navigate that as a marketing person?
So it's very tough, obviously. I kind of focus on like three key areas. One is community. So I'm in the trenches, and the boys are in the trenches every single minute of the day. Like when I get out, I'll have notifications, and I'll be straight back in the trenches. So we're here, we're part of the community.
What's the trenches for you? Where do you mean?
Twitter.
Okay.
Like you just go on my tweets, click on replies, you know, like, and it is you. It's me. Like it's me. Like it's the real me. Like I'll be honest. I turn myself back slightly. Like there's things I would engage with on my Twitter which I don't engage with now, because I know that like people can see me and they can maybe think, oh,
they're going to use it against you.
Not even use it against me. It's like, oh, Pete's been overly promotion of this project. Are they going to list on Velar?
Right.
Or is he going to introduce them to Bybit?
So you don't want them to speculate.
Yeah. So I hold myself back a little bit on that. There's that. There's educational content. Like, so the biggest problem I think in the crypto ecosystem right now is that people use big words, complicated words, and normies don't understand it. So I said to our team, number one job is to make everything normie proof, so that someone can turn up at Velar, understand what everything means, everything works. There's like a glossary, they can figure out every single terminology. What is this? What is that? Ease of use. And then the other one is key opinion leaders. So there's individuals in the space that are, I believe, the best Bitcoin maxis going, and we have them on board as like advisors and support team to then help us navigate the landscape properly. So someone that I see as a friend is Tyler Durden on Twitter. He's got maybe like 150k followers, but he's been in the game since 2012. He is probably seen as one of the most Bitcoin maxis in the ecosystem. He openly says everything. I trade things for more Bitcoin. Like he's like, I'm long in this for more Bitcoin. You know, but he's a trader. And why did I get him on board? Because he's where I'm from, which is a Bitcoin guy. He's been in the space for so long, but he's also a trader. So when it comes to things like the perp decks that we're building, like people like Tyler are going to be super important to help people come across and utilize the perp decks. So, you know, like I really value his like lessons and his thought process, and I take that back into our marketing. So I love that. We also have feelers out into the influencer community to give us information so we can then communicate better, you know, like.
But I actually prefer the Cole, you know, key opinion leaders so much more than influencers. Like the meaning of it as well. Even I appreciate you're going to say that some people who are influencers become Coles or like, but do you not think that it gives a better message?
So it's an interesting thesis, right? Is that influencer, I think, has got negative connotations. Mainly because of like the Web 2 world, of like, you know, people shilling with influencers and influencers taking drugs and saying you get skinny or whatever, you know, like say negative connotations. Key opinion leaders sounds positive, right?
But I guess that's what I mean.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, it doesn't matter what you want to call it, in my opinion. But yeah, key opinion leaders, whatever. But it depends how you want to use them. Like some people are using key opinion leaders like KOLs in the space just to shill a shitcoin.
In the same way they would use an influencer.
Yeah, correct. I don't use them for that reason. I use them to get a message out there, whether it be like a new partnership or get their feedback on products or understand what their community wants and we can build.
So you're using them as key opinion leaders.
I'm using them for what they're actually for. And this is what a lot of people in the ecosystem have been speaking to me about advisory stuff. They're like, how are you using this stuff? How do I get KOLs? Like, how have you got so many KOLs that are giving you feedback? It's like, I'm just a friend. Like, I literally just talk. Like, the way I tweet to people, like, is the same way I message the boys. Like, I'm like, hey, lads, how you doing? You know, like, I'm talking to them like they're my friends because they are. You know, like, and I met a few of them in Dubai, you know, went to some cool parties together. Like, you know, because the thing with me and people, and you know this, is I have no, like, filter.
No,
you know, so it's like, you only get the authentic me. And sometimes you won't like the authentic me, and that's okay. You know, my dad always said, like, Pete, you're a bit like Marmite. You know, some people love you, some people hate you. But you should be okay with that.
So it's either that or pretend to be someone you're not.
And I never will do that.
No,
like,
I agree.
I don't need to do that. So so I'm just my true authentic self, and just hope that people understand that when I say something, it's true. Like someone asked me something on Twitter the other day, and I said, announcement will come soon. I don't want to say anything sooner because when I say something, I want you to understand that it will actually happen and that has meaning.
Yeah.
Because I could say, oh, next week sometime. But like when I say something, I want the community to understand that when I say something,
It's happening.
It's happening.
It's not next week, but actually 4 weeks.
Yeah.
It's next week. Yeah.
Which is super hard in products, but
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also, so the key things for you then there, just to finish on that, are community education and then using key people in the space that can give you feedback and honest reviews and this will work and this won't work and this is why and that, which I think is super important. In terms of like what's next, like what, I could sit here all day, but like what's next, like what for Velar, for you, well, I mean for you it's Velar, but what's next for Velar? What's the goal? What's the short term? What do people need to look out for?
Yeah, so there's going to be a lot of hacks in this ecosystem moving forward because people are building so fast to try and beat other people that they're going to leave loopholes in the background. We've got this lucky situation where we've been building for a year now. So we've been able to build our kind of infrastructure out, our groundwork out. Like what we're doing right now is building out like our floor plan, like make sure everything's working and then build on top of that. So the most important thing right now is the perp dex coming out. The world's first perp dex on Bitcoin. You'll be able to leverage trade on Bitcoin, which is just, as like a Bitcoiner, that's just like my dream.
Yeah.
And
that's soon.
I mean, like, very soon. Like the testnet. So we're going to do testnet soon, like really soon. I'm talking like it's like any minute, So testnet will be out soon, real soon. Then we're going to do an incentivized testnet. There'll be millions of dollars given away to the community.
Wow.
People don't realize this. When we launched Velar, we raised $3.5 million. On our launch day, how much did we give away to our community? $3.5 million. People don't realize this.
Yeah.
Like, show me a bigger airdrop in the Bitcoin ecosystem.
Yeah.
We literally raised $3.5 million, launched our token, and gave out $3.5 million.
And that was for active users.
Active users who did the testnet and got involved. $3.5 million. So when we launch a perp dex, there'll be another incentivized testnet. People can get get involved. We're going to do it in a leaderboard format. Yeah. So we'll be rewarding traders with good P&L.
Okay.
To stop bots.
Nice.
So so you'll be able to go on there. You'll be able to trade. Whoever gets the highest P&L gets more points, which turn to Velar. All the way down, there'll be millions of dollars given away. And I'm really excited about that. I think and again, doing something again for the community. Like, and this is the thing. It's like, we don't have to launch these giveaways. We don't have to do these airdrops. We just don't have to do it. We can just bank it ourselves. But we don't, because we're living on a 10, 20, 30 year vision.
Yeah.
So
perp dex is next.
Perp dex is next. And then, I mean, I'm most pumped about, so we got a different state of a phrase that's coming out, but the next, I think it's maybe the next one after, it's called moksha. I get confused with different ones because it's Hindi things, right? So I get confused with them, to be honest with you. But moksha, I'm really excited by. We've had like the CXO team talk about what we're planning for that, and I think it's going to blow people's minds. I'm genuine. I've never been more bullish on something in my whole entire life, and I forget price action. I don't look at price action, but honestly, we're such long-term thinkers. We don't care,
Yeah. And when I asked that, the question is, what's next? And I kind of knew that what's next wasn't going to be what's happening tomorrow in a sense, because you guys are thinking long-term. Like, the perp dex is an active thing that's coming out right now, so that's why we're talking about it. But you guys are such long-term thinkers that this is just I'm pumped to be on the journey. Like, and I'm on the periphery of the journey, and I'm like.
It's crazy, and like I wouldn't have joined any other project. Like the team's great. Mythal, I say to people all the time, I'm bullish on Mythal. Like, I think Mythal is he'll be seen in 10 years' time as one of the great crypto things. I genuinely think so.
Yeah.
Because his vision and where he thinks the space is going has followed the exact path. Like the exact path. And when he was saying it to me, and I had I would sit there and be like, this doesn't even, like, no way.
Yeah.
And it's like happened to the point. And now he's telling me where he thinks the next path's going to be, and we're going to build on it. So I'm really bullish on Mythal in general. And then the rest of the CXO team are just killers. And then the team we're bringing in are also killers, because the thing that I've noticed in business in general is if you're good at what you do, people will trust what you say and join you on the journey. So George, who's our head of content, I called him and I said, G, I need you in this team as head of content because I know you're gonna do a great job. I said, this is the salary for now. I know it's not what you're worth because I know what G's worth. trust me, it'll be worth it in the end. And he goes, bro, if you're saying this, I'm in. So, like when you're so open and honest, and like I probably tell him as head of content more than I should, because I want him to understand the transparency that I have from like a leadership position, because then he's bought in more. So imagine when you're super honest, transparent, and truthful, and I pick up the phone and go, G, I need you.
Yeah.
I know you're getting underpaid. Trust me. And he goes, okay, cool, I'm there. He's gonna move to Dubai, on a whim.
So did you know this guy already?
So in our agency, G's a great marketing guy, right? He was marketing director for a fast moving consumer good brand that we worked with. We were the agency. He was the marketing director. So I didn't work with him directly, but I knew through my team that he was sharp and he was good.
Yeah.
So I'd had like a bit of a relationship there with him anyway. And then when I started looking for someone within my marketing team, his old CEO messaged me and said, G's coming to market. He wasn't with them. He'd gone somewhere else. He's like, G's coming to market. Speak to him. So then I spoke to him and I was like,
he moves out here.
Yeah, he's not out here yet. It's coming to summer. No one moves out here.
Yeah.
And yeah, he was.
Although I do think that's changing. I do think this place is changing now to a more. I think that the UAE is going to be less of a we come here for a few months and then we go again.
And I hope so, because it's a shame that I'm paying for rent for 4 months.
Yeah, but that's just because you want to travel around the world, because that's the way you're inclined.
Yeah, true.
It's different. I got a family. I got kids, mate.
Yeah.
There's only so much you could move.
You want the temperature to come down.
Yeah.
But what that relationship with G I had there has happened with all of our CXOs in all of their respective departments. So it's meant is we brought a whole load of killers in.
Yeah. And it's.
I stand by, and I truly mean this. We have the best team in the whole Bitcoin ecosystem.
That's insane.
And I know because I spoke to the Bitcoin ecosystem.
Yeah. You've been in it. You've seen it. You know what's going on. But mate, I could talk to you all day long. Like, this is just like, I just love talking about this ecosystem and like how passionate you are about. I've talked to you about a lot of stuff. I've never seen you this passionate about something. And it's just incredible. Like, I'm excited for this journey. So, people want to find you, people want to find Velar. Like, where do they need to go?
So on X or Twitter, whatever people call it, it's visionsbtc. That's me. Velar is Velarbtc. Like I said, my DMs are genuinely open. So like, if anyone has any cool projects they want to launch or they want to understand how to build on Bitcoin, just get in touch with me, and then I can put them in touch with anyone who builds. Anyone wants to launch a meme coin?
Yeah.
We've got this thing called memestacker.com. You literally can go on there, you pay some gas fees, and you create your meme coin, and then you can list it on Velar.
That is insane.
So my thesis on this was very much like, I believe meme culture will drive this adoption to L2s. So if we help the adoption of meme coins, therefore by default it helps the adoption.
Does that damage the brand?
It's not really like a Velar product. It's like it's like memestacker by Velar. Like we very much don't like
promote it.
Yeah, it's just like, if you want a meme coin, go there
and do it.
And then you can list with us. Like I can go to the complexities of why, but in general, it's like when I was on the community side, I wanted to create my meme coin, but I couldn't do it.
Does listing on Velar not? I know you would say it doesn't, but does it not give an element of credibility? Does it not give an element of we're allowing this project to list on our?
We're a DEX, right?
Anyone can do what they want.
Yeah, so on Uniswap, like, you can just go on there and add liquidity, and then you're on Uniswap, right?
If you're decentralized, you're decentralized.
You decentralize it, and this is the thing. This is what I like to say to people all the time. Is like, so the only reason we have to list manually is because of the way that Clarity is built on Stacks. Yeah. So we're building an automatic deployer right now, which people can just do it themselves. So yeah, I believe in decentralization. If you want to create a random coin about something random, you can do it. Yeah,
you're not going to stop that, because otherwise decentralization
doesn't work.
Is out of the equation. And in terms of liquidity, do you force people to lock liquidity? Do you force
that's up to the projects, right? I mean, like,
so you don't force anything.
We force nothing. We're decentralized.
Yeah,
we're decentralized. I know there's protocols being built to do that with Stacks and stuff, and if anyone wants to build anything they think is good for the Bitcoin ecosystem, they can build it, and then they can use our launchpad to launch it.
Yeah, you want to talk about
that.
So
anyone can do whatever they want. Like, if you want to build something on Bitcoin, honestly, the best partner is us, because I can give you connection to devs to support you, connection to us for listing, connection to our launchpad to launch it, like, all done.
And I was going to say that, I imagine a lot of the time as well, though it's not a requirement at all, but if people want to build and they want to launch, talk to you as well.
Yeah.
It's not, you can do it yourself. Yeah. You can just go and launch. You can just go and build it. But actually, if you want to do it properly, like, talk to you guys, because you're open to it and you want to help.
Yeah, and we've been in the ecosystem for a while now. Like, someone did a tweet the other day that said, I believe Velar really are for the community, because it was like I tweeted them about, I messaged them about launching something on their launchpad, and they said, "Yeah, sure, we're here for the community." Another launchpad said, "How many users and how many followers have you got?" I don't care.
Yeah, you literally, yeah.
I want everyone to win.
Watch out for the Nephos miner meme coin on Velar.
Do it. Serious.
See what happens.
That's it.
Pete, good to see you.
Pleasure, man.
Thank you.